Hello, Ryan here, aka Mac, and welcome. Cloud Imperium are cranking out the 4.2 PTU patches, with Wave 2 now opening up. As always, a huge thank you to all of my patrons and channel members. Thank you all so much for the support. It is truly appreciated. So since my last video covering Star Citizen Alpha 4.2, we have had a couple of new PTU patches, and as I say, opening the build to Wave 2 testers. Now, each patch has seen a lot of updates in many areas, so today I will be running through all of the changes to keep you all up to date, but it is great to see so much going on with balancing, tweaking, quality of life, and much more. And it is still very early in its PTU cycle, so plenty more to come. Now, the first of the two builds dropped on the evening of the 28th, and in gameplay, they have updated the scanning mode UI with further visual improvements, lowered the required base emission to scan for the driver's name from 80% to 10%, which means the name of the driver will be revealed much earlier on in the scanning process. I have yet to actually see this scanning mode UI or the updated version. A lot of people have told me it's really good or much better than what it was, so hopefully there's some B-roll of it. Now for characters, they have included a few more hairstyles, plus performed some more polish to hair. Nice to see new hairstyles just drop in as and when they are ready. As much as they are not a huge announcement feature, it is still very important to help add more customization options for everybody in the character customizer. Now in locations, for the ASD facilities, they have had lighting, music, and optimization polish, plus they have added exclusion areas to prevent AI from entering the facility's clinics. And then in vehicles, the Atlas variants can now be called using the freight elevators in the hangar, provided you have delivered it to the location via the ASOP. Now this is a great little quality of life update, so rather than having them only accessible via the main hangar vehicle elevator, you go to the ASOP terminal, claim it there but don't retrieve it, then you should be able to go to your inventory via the freight elevator and call it up there. Hopefully this means we're not too far away from getting ground vehicles called up this way as well, but that is a great step in the right direction. Now they have also swapped regen and slapdown balance for shield generators. Not quite sure what that means. They have also updated all engineering components health, scaling with increases and decreases across components, so a lot more balance for components continuing on then, likely as they start gearing up for rolling out engineering. And then they have added gimbals to ground vehicle remote turrets, which is a nice addition. Now for weapons and items, just for the R97 shotgun, they have adjusted its various stats as followed. So they've decreased the pellet per shot from 12 to 8. They've increased its damage from 3.66 to 4. They've decreased the aim down sight spread modifier from 0.66 to 0.75, so aiming down sights gives you a little less spread. They've also increased the minimum spread from 2 to 3, increased its maximum spread from 5.85 to 6.5, and they have increased its yaw recoil from 0.3 to 0.45. And then for core tech, they have updated the rain effects with further polish, including better balancing with stronger winds, made it more visible, and added screen space collision impacts, plus made the default camera rain droplets and slush effects more subtle. So a lot more polish going on there for weather, rain specifically, and there is a lot more to come in the next patch. Now finally for core tech, they have added the ability for locked doors to require multiple forms of authentication to open them, like armor as well as a helmet, rather than just one or the other. Now, they have some very specific rule sets for doors and door scanners here, so I hope to see much more of this open up for, say, player permissions on board. Other player ships kind of paving the way for this permission system where you can lock doors and grant permission to certain people but not everybody. It's a very important system, so I'm very happy to see this starting to make progress, but of course things like hacking, maybe even engineering, will be required before it really opens up for org stuff. Now there are also 8 more potential bug fixes, all but 2 targeting specific 4.2 mission issues, with 1 potentially fixing the New Babbage Hospital check-in issue where it gets stuck on checking available, although in the new build, I think that might be a known issue still. And then another one for Wicullo and the incorrect amount of Ace helmets not being accurate. Plus 4 client crashes fixed and 2 server crashes fixed. Now moving on to the most recent patch from yesterday, this is the build that opened up to Wave 2 testers, with Cloud Imperium stating that they have updated the mesh configuration to a new 5-5 setup, meaning 5 servers for Stanton and 5 to handle Pyro. Plus, they are separating Pyro 1 and Pyro 4 into distinct meshes. Also, additional improvements have been made to address the desync issues and overall performance, and they say they will be closely monitoring the build overnight before expanding to additional waves. And at the time of writing this, being Friday morning, it is still with Wave 2, but very happy to see that they are looking into the performance and desync issues, specifically desync, as it is very problematic on the PTU right now, but I suspect it'll go 2 more waves this evening if all goes well. Anyway, to the patch notes. For gameplay in the latest build, they have done further gameplay, LOD, art, audio, visual, and performance polish on the Stormbreaker event. They have done further Wicullo favor recipe adjustments, balanced the rewards for Rayari gathering missions, adjusted all radiation emitter sources to use a fall-off curve, and further rain storm audio polish with planetary surface material type inclusions. So as I'm sure we're all agreed, it is really cool to see weather coming in like rain and storms. The audio for rain does definitely need a lot more polish and an improvement, so hopefully this has done that. Great as well to hear that they're adjusting the material type that rain falls on to sound different, but I'm sure they will continue to heavily polish and improve every aspect of every type of weather that we see until we are all happy with it. Now finally for vehicles, they have reduced the Anvil Asgard and Valkyrie's cross-section emissions. Now with this build there are also 9 potential bug fixes, including one for the ASOP hangar in which it says, "We are unable to deal with your request at this time." Really happy to see that one get resolved. If it has been, it is a very problematic issue that many have been suffering from, including myself, so hopefully that is now done with. There was also a potential fix for the Orison tram doors not opening, a fix for the fuse by the first door in contested zones not having interactions. Another fix was for combat AI sliding erratically when entering, exiting, or peeking from cover. And amongst the other 4.2 specific fixes, they have also brought in a potential fix for the quantum travel routing showing all routes after the initial jump rather than the optimal route. Plus, there were 7 client crashes fixed and 1 server crash fixed. So some very important bug fixes there that will hopefully remain fixed. Now, with this latest build, there are still 14 known issues listed. 1 for not being able to quantum travel back to your ship. 1 for prison ore not storing. Another one for performance drops when ships stream in or out at locations. A couple of target lock bugs as well. An issue where the Knickknacks app can get stuck. Bed logging breaking quantum travel markers is still an issue. Saddlebags not snapping to the raft's cargo grid is on the known issues list. And again, as mentioned, the medical check-in at the new Babbage Hospital still seems to be broken. Plus, purchasing items are missing if the player does not change the location in the drop-down. So I suggest if you're on the PTU, just making sure that you are adjusting that drop-down. Even if you're going back to the original location, I think just adjusting it will hopefully be a workaround here. So still quite a bit to do there, but pushing it out to more waves will certainly help to expose the issues quicker, and Cloud Imperium have plenty of time to crack down on these bugs, as this patch is, I suspect, going to release in mid to late June. So they have still got a month to get bug fixing, polishing. I also feel they're not done with what we will see in this patch. I feel like there's going to be a lot more features and things to be revealed, not to mention just any more quality of life updates they can bring in time for this patch. It is set to be a beast of a patch that hopefully can resolve a good chunk of the problems we're seeing in live. Now, before I finish, in celebration of Invictus Launch Week, the TOBII Eye Tracker 5 is still on sale at 15% off until the 5th of June, and using my link below will take you to that deal, but it will also provide my channel with a direct kickback. So a huge thank you to all of you who have used it so far. It is very much appreciated. But with that said, if you do enjoy my videos, please do consider subscribing. We will also be live today checking out the PTU here on YouTube or over at twitch.tv/SuperMacBrother before culminating in a big old bring and buy star boot sale on the Idris on the live servers. So be sure to come and say hello. You are all more than welcome, whether you are new to the game or a veteran, and it is a great place to ask your questions. Hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, it does the channel a big favour, and tick that notification bell if you would like to be notified when my videos go live. Again, a huge thank you to my patrons and channel members. Cannot do this without you guys, so thank you so much for the support. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.